Yeah,
I mean,
don't say something.
or it could be the B word, as in boy.
Brother.
Okay.
Or you could say something really heinous, like Rise of Skywalker was the best Star Wars movie.
Ooh.
All right, that's it. We're no longer friends.
That's it. Everybody leave.
That hurts.
One and possibly the best Star Wars.
Rise of Skywalker.
The Rouge one.
Oh,
Rouge one. It's not even funny, but it's funny to me.
yeah.
But Matt doesn't.
Yeah,
have
it's a
an-
good. It's a solid film.
Matt can't have an opinion on good Star Wars movies because he thinks Solo is the best one.
Yeah, it is the best of the Disney ones for sure.
Oh God, how atrocious! And we're live, starting with an atrocious phrase.
Rise of Skywalker.
Both,
Yeah.
both are at
Even-
the bottom of the list. What are you talking about?
Even the words coming out of my mouth make me feel bad.
Oh, sorry. Let me. Rogue One is the best Star Wars Disney film.
I mean, at least Solo had Woody Harrelson, so it has that going for it.
Well, at least in Rogue One, I feared Darth Vader for the very first time instead of looking at him like a comedic, weird character.
Okay.
But we must be doing something right because we're getting people trying to tell us to buy followers in chat. Hello, everyone. We are Pixel Pints. We are the only podcast that talks about two things that we enjoy, which is good beer and video games. We're not here to promote drinking. We may be here to promote PlayStation Plus, or more like PlayStation Minus.
That was a nice
We'll-
try.
we'll get-
That was a nice try.
Good.
We'll get onto that in a moment. You can follow us on social media at pixel_pints on Twitter, where you can find out when we're going live and what we might be talking about if we arrange it in advance. You can follow us on Instagram at pixelpintspod, where I mainly post pictures of beer and game clips. Yeah. The Rise of Skywalker is shit.
Well, I mean, technically, we
Technically, and as a general movie, it was,
no. I'm sorry, not about the film. Technically, we do prearrange when we go live each and every week. Just someone doesn't tweet it.
We did this.
but
We did
we
this
don't
week.
necessarily decide on what topic we're doing until 10 minutes before it starts.
Touche.
Chin chin.
My job is just to get you guys in the room at the same time. That's all my job. The topic, that's not for me to decide.
We have a spreadsheet, but
All I was going to say is about everybody being in the room at the same time. Well, Evan's gone, so you suck.
I did not do my job. Evan ran away. Well, you said Rise of Skywalker, and it scares people away. You just start dropping like flies when you say that.
so Evan, how are things in Japan? Great, good to hear. Mikey, how are things in Pennsylvania? Not seen you for a while.
Got like sick like 3 times over. Mostly things have been good going with mostly learning how to life with the kids, with the 2 kids. But I got shingles and then a really bad like stomach flu, and now I have like a sinus infection. So I've like I've had an awful first part of the year. Like, it was just like kicking the cojones, like walking up to the pharmacy to get some like meds dealing with shingles, like Shingrix, like shingles vaccine. Like, ask about it if you're over 50. And I'm like, might want to bump that down about 20 years. I was like,
Well, you
what
can-
the hell?
As long as you've had chickenpox, you can get shingles because it's the same virus. It's just
Correct. But
when you get
what,
it. isn't it?
what that meant is that I basically had to corner myself off in the house away from my brand new infant son who has no antivirals whatsoever in his system, because be damned if I was going to give chicken pox to my 4-week-old son.
Yeah. Wow.
So I could not hold him for like 3 or 4 weeks almost.
Oh, that sucks.
It's almost as if isolating people who've got viruses actually stops them from spreading. Wow.
Yeah.
But
the worst part about it is because chickenpox and shingles or whatever, it lodges in nerve cells, and so the main symptom of my shingles,
pain.
was just the side of my face was in pain. Like it felt like I had like several toothaches, also like stuff like in my temple, in my ear. Like I thought it was an ear infection at first, like what was going on, how painful it was. But it's just like, no, just your nerve cells are just firing, like for no reason. And like hopefully we caught it soon. Like, but if you there's a possibility this pain could go on for a couple weeks, months, or maybe even a few years. It all really depends on yourselves. But fortunately, I am over that. But I'm just like, please treat this.
Has anyone had any more exotic diseases than Mikey?
Swine flu,
Not
anybody?
today.
Going once, going twice.
Okay. Dave,
But overall,
aka the Erebus Jones, welcome back. Not seen you for a while either. How are
AKA
things?
the Punisher.
I'm not sure. Indeed. Yeah, no, all is good. I've just had a nice confluence of things that have allowed me to join today. I.e., my family went out for the day and left me at home. So it's all good.
Well,
Actually,
thank you
that's
for
not
joining
fair.
us instead of playing more Diablo, which I'm sure that...
No, I'm playing Tiny Tina's at the minute. Same sort of vibe, but a different game entirely.
Great, thanks for coming on. Matt, how are things in Las Vegas? What is the temperature in Las Vegas, more importantly?
It is 14 right now. I've got the ceiling fan on.
It's
starting to warm up
50-50
finally.
split Burkoff. I need Fahrenheit. Give me Fahrenheit.
Fahrenheit's 57.
Wait a minute. How many people?
There's 3 Celsius and 3 Fahrenheits.
Okay.
We have 3 Americans.
Yeah. So yeah, things have been pretty good. Just been working and dealing with family stuff. So yeah.
OTAP says Dave means he sent everyone away so he could dunk on Mitch and PlayStation.
That's probably partially
Go
accurate,
see
right?
Sonic 2, children. I don't need to see that movie.
I don't need to see Sonic 2. Happy coincidence.
To be fair, I don't think anybody needs to see Sonic 2, but
It's gonna be terrible.
I am
it's
gonna
like
go
20
see.
quid
I'm
as
gonna go
well,
see
20
Sonic.
quid.
I thought the first one was good. I'm gonna see the second one.
Well done. Mitch, how are things in LA?
Things in
Have
LA.
you been slapped by a random stranger after insulting their wife?
Sorry.
I mean, that one was interesting. Like there was many people talking about that one. I'm just gonna talk about that situation really quick for 2 seconds, just because you brought it up. You opened the door. I'm gonna say first, I believe Chris Rock should not use that joke. Insulting. I found it as insulting to Jada Pickett's disease for her hair loss, and she has been open about how frustrating that has been for her, and especially for women of color, and having hair loss is a big thing for them. So I found that was not a good joke. I thought that was more insulting.
It was a bad joke and in bad taste.
Yeah, very. I like, if I was the Academy, I'd been like, why are you doing this joke? And I would have said no. And then the situation would never happen. But I don't condone what Will Smith did, because I think that was still violence is not the right option. If he yelled at him from across the room, I think I would have been okay with that. And saying just don't.
He did
that's
afterwards.
Yeah, if he yelled before and didn't hit him, I would have been more okay with what he did. But I'm not okay with what he did. But anyways, everything is good in LA. Yeah, that's all I can say.
Great. Evan, I asked how things were in Japan, but you left. So moving on. We heard that there was. You mentioned you got woken up by an earthquake. Is your trophy case with all of your commissioned platinum trophies okay?
I fucking hope so, man. I I just hit REM sleep, and that's the biggest earthquake that I've felt in several years. The last earthquake was I was teaching like 8-year-old kids, and everyone was like crying and flipping out. It was a terrible experience, but it was one of those sleeps. They're just looking at me like, dude, it's an earthquake. What are you doing? Hey, all right, kids. Yeah. So it was one of those sleeps where I it was so deep that I woke up, and it took me as long as the earthquake lasted to realize what was going on, and I was like literally and figuratively shaken for a little bit. I had shit sleep that night, but yeah, safe and sound. I guess at the end of the day, but yeah, it was. And
Her Majesty in the bed next to you, just snoring her ass off.
No, she was in Tokyo, so she didn't even. Okay. No, she felt the one in Tokyo a couple days earlier, and then I felt this one. I will say.
I don't want to hear what you get up to when she's away.
Yeah, I felt an earthquake. It's actually a euphemism. Nothing actually really shook. You feel so helpless. It's a very, very weird sensation. Earthquakes are, but
yeah, I'd agree. For someone like me as well, who came from no earthquakes to now have earthquakes, not as bad as what you had, but I felt many earthquakes. It's a weird sensation.
Yeah, you get them in Los Angeles. Yeah.
Well, you had freezing winters and dust storms like that.
I would take a freezing winter over an earthquake, because at least in the freezing winter I have like a barrier of a house, whereas an earthquake, nowhere is safe. It's very weird.
Yeah.
Well, Erebus Jones and I may get some more earthquakes because the government is going to loosen the legislation around fracking.
Oh, nice! So that's great.
I've actually experienced an earthquake in the UK, so we get them, but they're all really, really small. So like they never really breach like 2 on the Richter scale or anything like that. And I remember there was one about sort of 4 or 5 years ago, and I was sat in my living room on my gaming chair with a pair of headphones on, and just playing something or other, and it felt like somebody was just slamming the front door, like a lot. And I took my headphones off, ready to go out and find out what the hell Claire was doing. And no, it turned out to be it was an earthquake. So there you go.
Here I thought you were gonna say Here I thought you were gonna say, oh, I was playing a first-person shooter, and I was like, this game doesn't have sway in it.
No.
Just like,
oh, this new chair I bought is so realistic.
Earthquakes, they happen in the UK. They feel like when you slam the door really, really, really hard.
By the way, Evan, your mic, new setup, your mic sounds much better than it used to.
Maybe he's just doing that to compete with me, because my mic sounds like shit by comparison. Right, so let's get on to beers.
No Burkoff?
We've asked Matt how he's doing. No one cares how I'm doing.
I totally missed that. I'm so sorry.
Keith, how are you doing?
It's too late now. We've transitioned. Right. So, who's got beers or beverages they want to talk about? Matt, you're not drinking because it's in the morning, but you had something interesting last night.
Yeah. So last night I had. I actually bought a pack. It was an 8-pack of the Deftones beers. So last night I had
lucky dog.
Yeah, I was super lucky to find it because I haven't been able to find these except for Fanta Bride. It's like the only one that I could find out here. So I finally got a hold of the other ones. The pack came with Digital Bath, Ohms, some Fanta Bride, and Good Morning Beautiful, which is a brown ale. So the other 3 are IPAs, including this one.
Now I'm just thinking about National Treasure. Hello, beautiful. Da-na-na.
So this one was okay. I was a little disappointed. It's supposed to be a New England hazy IPA, and it's too bitter and not enough of the like citrus and coriander. But overall, it was pretty good.
I'm getting a little bit sick of New England IPAs because they seem to be everywhere.
Yeah, in Japan
it's
as
the
well.
main. Yeah, it's the main
the
style.
weed.
I feel like
the weed. Yeah, right now it's the weed IPAs, the unfiltered,
right.
dank, skanky, like possible gym shorts weed IPAs.
Mitch, don't invite OTAPs on. He's fine in the chat. He can sit and drink his wine
and by the way, OTAPs had made the comment when we were talking about your mic, Evan. and it covers his face. A win for everyone.
Ouch. That's a good. I'll take that. Sure.
Gonna need a sensu bean for that one.
That's a Dragon Ball reference for people who don't know.
I
Should
have
have just left it. Yeah, should just left
I'm
it.
sorry. Yeah, I ruined it. Sorry.
All I know about Dragon Ball is some muscly people gurn and growl for 25 minutes, and then the credits roll. And then in the next episode, someone else does it, and then in the episode after, people have a fight, and then they do the same shit.
So
That's
Keith,
accurate.
So Keith, if you want to, this is for anyone. If you want to watch Dragon Ball Z and you've never seen it before, or if you've seen it before and you want to rewatch it again, you put it at 2 times the speed. It is a very fascinating show at 2 times the speed.
No, just watch the Dragon Ball Z abridged series.
No, it's awful. Don't watch that.
It's wonderful.
I think I'd rather watch the Sonic movie.
Yeah, go watch the Sonic movie.
Right, so I am drinking Mariana on Mango from Weird Beard Brewing.
I thought that said margarita for a second.
And it's a double dry hopped mango IPA. And when I first poured it, the head was 3/4 of the glass, and now it's just gone completely flat. It's got actual mango juice in it, which is hence the color and the opacity.
Yeah.
That's me winning word of the day.
Is that just your goal? Every episode, you just want to win word
just
of
to
the
win
day?
word of the day, absolutely. I need to take something. Evan's stealing all the thunder with platinum trophies, which we'll get onto momentarily.
It's too many letters for Wordle, though.
Okay.
I keep forgetting to do my Wordle of the day.
It's
now to the
less...
point where I'm just refusing to play Wordle. There's nothing against it, but it's just like
Out of principle.
It's gone too long.
Do you know what is 5 letters long? Beers, and that's what we're talking about.
I'm going to use that as my opening tomorrow.
Here, I'll use that as my opening right now. We'll do my Wordle live on the show.
It's way less fruity than I thought it was going to be. It's also really strong. It's 7.1%, which I didn't realise.
Nice.
It's got a kind of fruity nose, but not much fruit on the palate. And then it is actually doing Wordle on the show.
Nope, it's not beers.
And just to give you a hint, you find them commonly in lots of video games.
Yeah.
But then it's got this weird kind of tobacco finish.
Weird.
Which is from
how the hell do you get a tobacco finish off of mango? Must be that second
it's
batch
kind of woody,
dry
a
hops.
woodiness on the finish. It's all right. Would I have another one? No. I've got something else I will move on to, which is the Peroni Reserve, Grand Reserve Rosso.
Oh, nice.
Rosa, actually. And Evan, you'll be pleased that I won't be drinking it out of the mango glass. I wouldn't have got another glass.
Oh, the nice English dimpled pint, one of the best beer glasses ever.
Yeah, made in France.
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
They won't be after
Evan,
Brexit.
Evan, what are you drinking?
So the missus came back from Tokyo today, and she had a photo shoot in Saitama, which here we go,
Wait,
for the
your wife's a model.
prefecture mention. No, she's like an ad campaign director, so she directed the photo shoot. But there's a place called Chichibu in Saitama, which is the prefecture just above the Tokyo prefecture, and she brought back a couple beers during after her trip, and I love this label actually. This is the Shirokuma, which just means polar bear, hazy IPA. Again, hazy. I'm sorry, but it's kind of old school a bit. I love the Japanese font. So like this kind of orangish font says Shirokuma, a polar bear. So it's a hazy IPA. And I don't know how old this brewery is, but
You're saying it's a HIPAA?
right. 6%. So this is a 330 ml bottle. I made a mistake of getting excited and pouring my regular, the Kirin Ichiban Shibori, into here. So the only glass that I have is a mug with my own face on it. So I'm going.
What does it say around your face?
Yes.
Okay, so every graduation.
Hold it to the camera. We got to see more. It was a flash in the pan.
It's got my full name on it in Japanese, by the way. I shouldn't be giving this information out. And I have a neck beard too. I didn't shave the day that we had pictures taken at work. It says, so the Japanese here says thank you. It says kansha, just means thank you. So every graduation ceremony for senior high school, the Parent-Teacher Association buys a present for the teachers. And after the graduation, when you return to the teacher's room, it'll be on your desk. And one year, they bought every teacher a mug with a picture of their own face on it.
Wow.
Well, it's not going to get used in the staff room, are you? If someone steals your mug, he's like, "That's my mug." No, it's not.
Right. So it was amazing because every teacher came back with just this look of puzzlement on their face, like, you know, Americans and the Japanese alike, like, why the hell? I'm just trying not to swear anymore. Why the hell did they buy or did they think that we would want to drink out of a mug with our own face on?
Maybe they're like, give it to your partner. They'll be like super happy that they get to see your face constantly.
Right, yeah. So,
well, at least they got it for everyone, and you didn't end up with a mug and one of the other teachers got a car.
Right, exactly, yeah. Some Oprah situation, like, you get a car and you get a car. Face on. They're like, what the fuck? Oh shit, I swore. I'm sorry.
Well, you know, the magic about that thing, unfortunately, is like if someone gives you a free item like a car, you have to pay the taxes on it or else you can't keep it. So like half the people had to give the car back.
Yeah, a friend of a friend made it onto Jeopardy, and she actually said the prizes that she won was a bit of a nightmare to get through getting all that stuff. Don't know the specifics, but so this hazy IPA.
So in this country, someone wins a prize and you get the prize. In America, you win a prize and you've got to pay tax on it.
Yes, you have to pay the taxes for the thing, or else
your
you can't
country
keep
is
it.
Insane.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. Hey, I have to file my taxes, and I live in Japan and have lived here for 10 years, and the IRS still wants to know how much I make and what I do.
Well, if you live in Japan, wouldn't it be the Outland revenue?
The Outland
That was a really
revenue.
terrible joke. Tell us about the beer.
Okay, sorry. I'll. You did tell a joke a couple episodes ago, and I got it, and the rest of the people did. Oh, the ring, the Elden Ring. I like that. Ring out. Yeah, it's pretty good. Everyone was confused. So this is actually this is a hazy IPA, and I get it again. I agree with McWomble and other people on this episode where I'm very sick of how many IPAs hog the shelves of the craft beer section. Same in Japan, bit too much. And a lot of the Japanese beers tend to just downplay the flavors a bit. They're a bit afraid of turning the dial up a bit higher to like have the style fully expressed like what it is in probably the UK or the States. Japanese breweries, not the import stuff, obviously. But this one actually does its job with like it's tropical. It smells juicy. It tastes juicy, but it also has that nice bite. So yeah, this. The Polar Bear Hazy IPA from Chichibu Brewery is I just love saying Chichibu is very, very good. I'm glad they finally decided to stay on the course.
I love how those 4 characters spell out Polar Bear, but the giant writing just says "thank you" on the side of your face.
Oh wait, I'm holding it the wrong way. Sorry.
It's just so much more elaborate.
It's
Evan's on the show twice. Right, Mikey.
So hideous.
What have you got in your small dimpled pint glass? Is it a US dimpled pint glass or is it a dimpled half pint glass?
No, this is a it is a I would say the ounceage is like 22 ounces or something, or maybe 20 ounces or so. So it's bigger than a normal pint.
So it's an English pint.
I think it is an English pint. However, I'm confused because on the handle it says Mexico is where the glass was made. So I am Confucian. I am Confucian.
The 2 English dimple pint glasses on this episode were made in France
And Mexico.
In Mexico.
Yeah.
But this is all I had in the house, and it's low enough ABV that I don't think it. But I'm drinking Lord Chesterfield's ale.
You've had that before.
Yeah.
I remember you saying.
Yeah.
Dave,
Wonderful
have you got? Are you on
But
the
it's my daily.
on the jar?
No. I had a brief drink, but it was fizzy pop. So
Pop. Mitch, any interesting flavored Red Bulls going on?
No, except for the free Red Bull I get to drink.
This guy.
they give you free Red Bull.
Yes.
Yeah, when you're doing your unsanctioned overtime, you need to keep the staff hydrated and energized.
I'll get your dental plan after that.
It's sugar free.
You naughty boy.
More like Naughty Dog.
Right. So, Evan, very, very briefly, please, can you give us a précis of your latest platinum trophy and why you got it? More importantly,
we're never going to get to the topic.
That's why I said very quickly.
So earlier in the year, I had promised, because I rag on Titanfall 2 all the time, earlier in the year I said I'd promised that I'd play it again and give it a fair shake. And I downloaded it, uploaded a picture to Discord, and McWomble said, hey, let's make... I didn't say anything. This was just me showing him, hey, I'm going to play it right now. He said, hey, let's make things interesting. How about by April 9th or 10th, let's see who can get the most trophies or achievements.
Oh, no.
And I went from this is impossible to only people that are good at FPS shooters can do this to I think I can do it to I can do it to I know I can do it. And like I said, I'm not good at video games. I'm just insanely persistent and stubborn. So yeah, I got the Platinum Trophy in Titanfall 2 in about 3.5 days since making that bet. And I will tell you this, McWomble. At the end, you have given me the most elation I've ever felt for any trophy that I've gotten.
Oh, trophy.
At least
okay. Okay. I thought you were going to mention something else.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Let's make that the strong point to this. That's what I'm talking about, actually. But when I made that 33.4 second run, it's the best I've ever felt in terms of satisfaction with like whatever you say, like defeating the final boss in Elden Ring. Like nothing can top. Thank you for pushing me to do that. But yeah, if you give me a challenge and it comes to trophies, I don't know. I won't stop. I will continue till I get it, even if I don't like the game. But that's for another episode. We will talk about that further, I think. So yeah.
So what was on the line? What were the stakes in doing this, or have I just tricked you into playing the multiplayer of Titanfall 2, and that was my plan all along?
Right, yeah.
Because you've not been able to put it down since, have you? You've been online just playing the multiplayer of Titanfall 2 all the time.
Yeah. Well, the second I got the Platinum Trophy, I deleted the game. But we will be doing a Pixel Pints kind of ultimate look back and review of Titanfall 2 at a later date, which I will tell you right now, I have been doing my due diligence. I am fully immersed and up on the lore of Titanfall 2.
Shit. That means I gotta bring.
So I know what I'm talking about. This I'm doing it right. I digitally shook McWomble's hand, and Burkhoff had talked about how it's one of the best kind of like sci-fi stories out there. So yeah, we're gonna get to it at some point. But yeah, I was challenged to do something, and it had to do with trophies, and I couldn't stop. Didn't think I would be able to do it, but once I got in there, I couldn't stop. Yeah.
So 2 things. I poked the bear. I shouldn't have done that when it came to challenging Evan around trophies. And 2, thanks for not answering the question. So the stakes were whoever gets the most trophies.
That's why I said we're never going to get to the topic.
and then whoever got the quickest time on the gauntlet, and their opinion on the game becomes Pixel Pints canon and can never be challenged.
I'm so happy right now. You don't even fucking know how happy I am. I can't wait for that episode. I'm making notes. It's gonna be.
So does that mean somebody else can beat his gauntlet time between now and that episode?
Yes.
Yeah. Every week.
I have not.
Me. I don't think that's fair.
I haven't done it yet.
How quickly did I do that after the challenge was made? I fucking nailed that, and all of a sudden, someone
now
else
you want
gets
to take it
an
away
extra
from
week.
me? Oh, someone.
No.
Well, you can keep playing it. You've just got to re-download it and then keep going through the gauntlet. Someone on YouTube did it in 19.7 seconds.
Get the fuck out of here! Really?
What if it was the F1 and then they were like, hey, how about we race? And then someone got the best time. And they're like, all right, I did it. And then someone else was like, well, okay, you got, 1 minute 20 seconds.
If what you're trying to imply
but also give me another week, and if I beat you within that week, I win. It's like, no, you don't win. I fucking got the best time. You don't get an extra week to practice. Go fuck yourself. Go screw yourself.
Go ahead and you can play more. You can still play more and get even more practice than the other person. That's what we're trying to say.
I don't want to play that game anymore.
Well, that's your fault.
It's not that
That's
good.
your fault.
Spoilers.
Well, apparently,
I gave you the time frame.
Because Evan, apparently I don't care that much about your time, because if you did, you would do everything you can inhumanly possible to prevent people from beating your time. So, like, even though you hit it, if you really want that victory, you really got to work for it. It's not easy.
Well, you know that Matt isn't going to get the platinum trophy on that game and beat your time.
Oh, no fucking way.
Yeah.
I gave up when you got before you even beat the time on the gauntlet. I was like, dude, he's so into it right now. Like, there's no way. Like, I'll play through the story again, just so I've got something to talk about. But
all right, so we'll be there for the conversation of the lore and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Right. So with 8 minutes to go before 4 p.m., we've spent nearly a whole hour talking about everything other than PlayStation Plus.
Not technically, only spent 35 minutes.
There was a pre-show that we don't show.
Yeah, the unknown pre-show where.
So right to thank you, Jim Ryan, for announcing the Game Pass busting PlayStation tiers of PlayStation Plus, or could it be PlayStation Minus? Well, it's definitely minus their first party AAA list of games. So how I want to handle this is, Evan, you're a notorious cheapskate unless it comes to buying tut that you've got on a shelf behind you.
Am I? I didn't know that.
Well, for this episode, you are. Put yourself in that persona.
All right. I'm a cheapskate. Okay.
And he does have a PlayStation. It is a good point.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
I got two of those things.
I'm going to do something horrible now. Dave, you are Team PlayStation.
All right. Yep.
Matt, you are Team PlayStation.
Okay.
Mikey, you are Team Xbox. So you're going to have a battle to convince the hearts and minds of Evan and I as to why your respective services are better than the other.
What? The guy that works for Sony has to bat for Xbox?
Yes, it's called.
I said I was going to do something diabolical.
Oh, you're an ass.
It's debate class. You have to be able to argue both sides.
Oh my god.
Right. So before we get into it, we'll just go through what was and wasn't announced. So there was an announcement that there will be another announcement in June, which is odd in itself.
No, it comes out in June. It was announced.
There's going to be another announcement. We still have to let you guys know what amazing games are going to be available on this service.
I like it.
And that is an event in and of itself, guys.
Well, I mean, they did tell you 5 games.
We said that there would be. I'm already in the role.
I love it.
So Matt,
I'm
Matt,
throwing
Matt,
Matt
Matt's only-
bones here.
Matt's only
Matt's not
5
taking
over
any
700.
bones. Jesus
Wait.
Christ.
Am I shilling for Coleco or Nintendo?
Don't listen to Jim Jack Ryan here, Jim Bub. I'm Phil. I'm your buddy. I'm your best friend. I don't care about my studios, but I care about you being on my subscription service.
I love that backhanded compliment. I don't care about my studios languishing in development hell. All I care about is you getting a good quality, customer-friendly service.
That you can play games anywhere.
For our
Anywhere.
$9.95.
For $15.
Stop. I'm going to handle this like debate class because you're not acting like professionals. Matt.
Well, you did this
Dave,
when you put me on Team Xbox.
Matt and Dave, you need to introduce what it was that PlayStation announced and introduce why it's deserving of people's money. I'll let you know when to stop, and then I'll introduce Team Xbox.
So what PlayStation is offering is an amazing new service that bridges the gap between PlayStation Plus and PlayStation Now. And you now have 3 tiers that you can subscribe to. You can stick with the Essentials, which gives you pretty much everything that you've already gotten with PlayStation Plus in the past. You can then go with Extra, which will give you access to 400 additional games that were traditionally part of the Now platform, will now be part of the Plus platform. And then we have the Premium tier, which gives you all of the previously mentioned things, as well as access to a catalog of retro games.
Apologies.
Oh, I thought that was
just me celebrating what you were saying.
I thought that was like, oh man, cringe.
That's the timer. Timer's up.
Is that the timer? Is he done? Yeah.
I mean, that's basically what the service is. Just the 3 tiers. We're going to offer you 700 plus games. Way
What
more
about
than
that
Xbox
shady?
has.
No, it's not your turn to talk. It's not your turn to talk. Dave, so how much is this amazing offer going to cost people?
So if they stick with the essential tier, pretty much no change to what they've got currently over the course of the year, but obviously, it's got a new name. Then you've got the extra tier as well. So the extra tier is, if we pay for it yearly, extra, is $100 a year, or bar a penny. And that's obviously going to get you the 400 PlayStation 4 games with a few PlayStation 5 games too. You could argue that that's probably the best value, offering within the lot. And then obviously you got the premium tier on top of that, which is £120 a year, which gets you all of the downloadable retro games and the streamable PlayStation 3. Now, the values I just quoted were the yearly upfront costs, so you do have to pay that upfront. There's no way to break that down, or you can subscribe monthly. But beware, if you choose to subscribe monthly, we will take quite a bit of money off of you.
Beware, you're supposed to be supporting this. Why should we beware?
I'm encouraging you to do the best thing for your wallet, which is commit to us long term. Don't dangle your toe in this. Jump in with 2 feet. Give us all of it up front, and we're going to give you so much joy that you've already had. All this joy that you can enjoy again. All this joy you can experience for the first time, having passed over it the first time.
So, Matt, since Evan or I don't currently have these tiers, why should we be excited for it?
Well, I don't know why you'd be excited for it. You haven't bought a PlayStation 5 yet. But
well, is that part of the equation?
Actually, I don't think we've addressed that in our press release, whether or not this is PlayStation 5 exclusive or if you can take advantage of it on your PS4. But something to think about.
Don't you think that should be made clear to the consumers?
Something we might address in June when we do our follow-up.
So, Evan, do you have any questions for Team PlayStation?
I'm laughing way too much. At this point, no, I'm good. I think you answered all my questions. Thank you.
All your non-existing questions in your head because you're too busy laughing and drinking. So literally all I've done is given Evan the opportunity to sit there and drink. Right. Team Xbox. Surely this isn't a Game Pass killer, is it? Starting with Mitch.
No, of course not. It's not a Game Pass killer. Because look at the lineup of games we offer on Game Pass. We have Super Mega Baseball 3, A Memory Blue, Norco.
Norco actually looks quite cool. That's a Devolver Digital one.
Shredders.
No, Raw Fury. They did.
You get to play more Minecraft, Evan. You have to pay money to play more Minecraft. No, but we do have a good lineup. We got some Weird West that was exclusive to Game Pass. We have Rainbow Six Siege, Rainbow Six Extraction that just came out recently. You can play the entire Yakuza series, Evan, on Game Pass. You
can get all of those platinum trophies.
Don't interrupt. Big Phil talking. Big Phil talking. Don't interrupt Big Phil. Big Phil is the man. Award lifetime achieving Big Phil is speaking. You don't interrupt a lifetime achievement man.
Remember,
has he somehow possessed your body? Is that?
Remember, Game Pass is the only way to fill you up.
There you go. Fill you up. I love it. That's good.
But there's such a lineup. Like even and look at these. None of these are our first party. They haven't even come out yet. They're on their way. They will be here soon. I promise. Eventually.
Mitch, I love how tonally you're doing it in such a way that you know you've got to be nice, but the tone of your voice is making it sound like I know what I'm saying is just holding back the vomit in my brain. This is amazing. This is quite possibly the best thing that I've ever done to you. Mikey, as someone who's taken up myself the Xbox All Access scheme that got me the console and Game Pass Ultimate. Should I really be thinking that this PlayStation offer is nothing more than a scam? Because I've got to pay for everything full price.
Yeah. Well, and here's the thing about this PlayStation thing. You know, you're looking for a lot of these games, and
did Phil work with the Mafia?
A lot of these games, they have to send bit by bit over your internet access. Bit by bit. You cannot consolidate all of the pixels at once onto your hard drive and then compile them into a playable form at your leisure in an offline capacity. Not all of these games have this capability. In fact, I would argue most of them do not. But, as they say, better to have played with Phil than to be a shill.
Mafia Bill, hold on. Hold on, Mafia Bill. We want people to play on the cloud because the cloud is amazing. The cloud is the future. You can play anywhere.
Our cloud.
PlayStation uses our cloud. You dumb wit.
There's the green cloud, and then there is
the little blue cloud.
The sniveling guy Kai. I don't even know what that means.
The je ne sais quoi.
It's not as good as the green cloud. Our cloud has the X, which means it's expensive to maintain.
Oh,
but that means it's better.
Also, to use the cloud, you don't have to spend as much with us. You only have to spend $14.99. You have to spend $17.99 to be with these punks to play PlayStation 3 games on the cloud, where you could just play games on the cloud for $14.99. That's how it is.
You almost said free. You turned free into $14.99.
$14.99.
Nice save, by the way.
Right, so Mitch, would you say that PC players are better off on Xbox Game Pass than they would be using this new PlayStation Plus approach?
Well, I don't even know if it's for PC on the PlayStation.
Well, let's check with Team PlayStation.
Where are you from?
So, Eric Jones.
I can contribute to this. So what our PlayStation customers can be really, really happy about and can be really, really excited about is how we're leveraging our connection with our PC fan base in order to better fund our console experience. So where previously console players who use PS Now and streamed PS Now to the PC only had to pay £40 a year in order to get that experience, they now have to pay £120. And that's good for PlayStation gamers like us because it means more money to PlayStation. More money to PlayStation. So
and
yes.
more money for PlayStation can only be a good thing.
Absolutely.
Yeah, unfortunately, we're sorry to our Japanese gamers, but PC streaming will not be available in the country that has some of the fastest internet in the world.
Sorry, just a momentary meltdown.
The cynical of the two sides is so bad. I don't judge Evan for going to
loving
neither
every
side.
second of this. I must say, Evans, one in person and one on a mug. Do you have any questions for Team Game Pass?
Actually, I do. So we're all familiar with the value that PlayStation has put forth up until now with games, or at least franchises, really, of their God of Wars and their Horizons, with your new format and the development studios that you have absorbed. And you have said that those games are coming, aside from Senua's
Do you mean
sacrifice.
They're on their way.
Consumed, sure. Yeah. What games specifically, or genres, or PlayStation itself, with the acquisition of Jade Raymond's Haven, have talked about live service games. Really, what genres or games do you have on the coming that can go toe to toe with these Horizon Forbidden Wests or God of War Ragnaroks? Like, is there anything that you can give us to let us know that it's not just the same old Gears? And
Big Phil
Sorry,
back here.
Sorry, Mitch. I want to ask Evan's question more succinctly. Are you
Thank
just
you.
giving us a cheap, low price for cheap quality, whereas PlayStation give us they want that 70 UK pounds, even though it's undeserving and totally unnecessary, for those triple first party experiences.
Well,
so
are you
just
editorializing?
giving us? Are you just pushing out to?
Well, Big Phil here. I earned a Lifetime Achievement Award. Just saying. Number one. So don't question Game Pass. Number two.
Wow.
Number two.
Offensive.
Number two. We want what you want. We want great games. Have we done that? I don't know. I mean, I thought Halo got 9s and 10s, all that kind of stuff for having a low quality. I don't know what this was.
What are you doing?
For our audio listeners.
That was
the worst TED Talk I've ever seen.
Taking over that part of his body.
No, I was
pressing against his face. So don't say it. Don't say it.
Sorry, the mindset I am right now for character, I have two characters in my mind. I have, and it's from South Park. I have the George R.R. Martin they meet in the Game of Thrones spinoff where he says the dragons are on their way, but he just keeps saying they're on their way. Like the games are on their way. And then the other one I'm thinking of, I thought of the IT people when they're like rubbing their chests and going, I'm sorry you had to deal with this outage issue. Sorry. Okay. Anyway, but yeah, we want what you want, which is great games. And I think we have great games. They are on their way. We don't know where they will be, but we think they will be great games because we have Forza, which should have been nominated for Game of the Year, but didn't. It was the biggest shill in the history of video games. We all know this. We all agree to this. We also had Halo Infinite, which ended up being, hey, big money, Big Phil, Lifetime Achievement Award talking here.
I was just going to agree with you. We here at Team PlayStation totally agree that Forza got screwed last year and should have been in the talking for Game of the Year. But carry on, please. Please don't let me stop you.
Can we now expect Team Xbox to say that Gran Turismo should be in the talk for game of the year.
No, because it wasn't as good. It wasn't as good. We got a higher review score. Metacritic, man. Metacritic. Read it. It's in front of you. So Metacritic, and then we released Halo, even though it totally looked like shit last year. Look what we did to it. It turned into a 9 to a 10 game. Even
swearing.
It's just because we put an open world in it, like Zelda, Breath of the Wild. That's your thing, Evan. It's just like make it Breath of the Wild, and it's instantly game of the year. That's what you want. That's what you want, broski. Right. So
you're teasing of Evan with Breath of the Wild. I love it.
I don't know what my mafia friend has to say to back me up here. What do you got?
Well, I'm going to ask the question of Team PlayStation Tears of Joy. Right, so I feel that I got a really good deal from buying my PS4 Pro, and the quality experiences that I got from PlayStation from their first party titles. I've not been able to get a PS5 because of shortages. I managed to get a Xbox Series X because of the quite brilliant Xbox All Access scheme.
Well, also not because they're not selling like hotcakes, but we got you on PC, bro. That's why. You don't need an Xbox. You can get a PC.
Unfortunately, McWomble, the problem is that so many people are buying PS5s that we just can't offer them in the same type of layaway plan that Xbox gives you.
Evan, who are we waving at?
Her Majesty. I stole her umeshu. It's like a plum-based wine. Hey, we're shooting over here. She doesn't understand that reference.
I wish I could see her face.
Yeah,
okay, he's just muted his mic. So, why aren't you offering the same type of scheme? It's surely someone as brilliant as PlayStation could offer something similar.
I think there's something you need to understand, really, and I think it's time to talk honestly and be kind of blunt and upfront about this. We are the market leaders. We are the most successful in this particular market space right now. Our games speak for themselves. They are of undeniably high quality. The reason why we don't offer a scheme like All Access is because we don't need to. The truth is if you can't afford one, then we probably don't need you anyway. If you couldn't afford £500 for the console, you certainly can't afford £70 every 6 months for a high quality game. So I think what you've got to do is, to mirror something that one of my friends over in Team Xbox said a few years ago. I mean, if you're so poor and not really on a PlayStation 5 level, that you can't afford to just go out and get one, we've got a machine for you, and it's called a PlayStation 4.
Whoa, don't pull Don Matrick up in here. We fired him for a reason, because he was shit. And what he said was, if you don't have an internet connection, you could be on a fucking submarine and stick with Xbox 360.
Okay, so let's let Team play.
Sorry, I just have bad memories with Don. Don was horrible. Don was horrible to me.
The Team Ecstasy Station.
Sorry, Don was horrible to me. I can't stand that man.
I think we're going to double down on something that we said a long time ago, back in 2005, 2006. You can always get a second job. You know what? To get the PlayStation 5 and to pay for this outrageous yearly subscription. You know, just got to get a second job. These are hard times, people. But that petrol is really expensive.
I do clean very diligently, so maybe I could get a night job as a cleaner.
I mean, to be fair, we've helped you a little bit with this as well, because as we've already said earlier, our tiers cost less if you pay us up front. And what that's going to do is it's going to save you money, but it's also going to stop, you know that kind of thing that those sort of poor Xbox people talk about, where they say, well, I'll just get Game Pass for that 1 month that the new game comes out, and then I'll just not subscribe anymore. So that way they're being really clever because they've only paid £7 to play our £60 or £70 new Halo game. Well, here at PlayStation, we don't believe in malarkey like that. So by buying and signing up to a year's long subscription, because it's all rolled into one thing, we're going to stop you from doing that, which means you can enjoy our services knowing full well that you are premium. You are the creme de la creme. Only the best people play our games because, frankly, there's a cost barrier that the riffraff can't get over. So come enjoy them. Come to the dark side. Give us your money.
So, Mikey, question to you. Why are the experiences on Xbox somehow less attractive because I get them day and date than? Do you just make worse games than PlayStation? Because if I were to do this with PlayStation, I have to pay £70 to get the new games plus over £100 a year to get the premium tiers. Why do Xbox make worse games than PlayStation?
Mac W. See, that's the perception. This is all the lies. Our games, not only are they as good, but they are better for being day and date. You don't understand. See, E.B. Jones up there, he's been drinking the blue Kula. He thinks that unless you physically pry open your mother of pearl wallet every time you want an experience TM from PlayStation, that you have to be forking over money at bulk, painful amounts every time. But no, that is not what Team Green says. Team Green is you are paying at a consistent rate, so you can budget. You can budget for the joy available through Xbox.
Uncle Booty, hold on, Uncle Booty, hold on.
First he was Mafia Bill, now he's Uncle Booty.
Yes, because
I've got no idea what that reference means.
Well,
he's
Matt Booty, head of Xbox Studios. Hold on.
Did anyone check any of these guys had any money in their pockets before we let them in? Who let the vagrants in?
Who? Uncle Booty, hold on, man. Hold on. We need to be honest.
So the whole point of this was trying to convince Evan at the end whether or not he's going to sign up to and he spent half the time away from it. See,
hold up. Uncle Booty, we need to be honest with them. We fucked up. Uncle Donnie fucked it up, and we've had to fix his mess. Now, it's taken us quite a long time to fix his mess. A very, 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 very long time. But we got you Halo. It's what you want. And it's free. Day and date. No wait. It's right there. Yeah. You want Evan, I know you want the next Hellblade. Guess what? You don't got to pay more for it. It's right there. Just grab it. Just play it. Psychonauts 2, it's right there. Just go play it. You don't have to pay more.
Actually, that's a very good point. Thank you for making that point. To Evan, you've got a laptop. You don't need to get an Xbox because Xboxes aren't allowed to get shipped into Japan. There's some kind of invisible barrier where they just disappear when they cross the.
Because we're smart. We thought Japan, internet connection, the cloud. Physical in Japan is stupid. Go to the cloud.
Thanks for that. The Mitch channeling the essence of Big Phil, who sounds way more arrogant in his outer body form than he ever does in his physical form.
When I make my public statements, I'm a lot more humble because I'm a lifetime. But after I got this lifetime achievement award, fuck that. I don't have to give no one no respect.
So,
Wow.
I don't believe that you're channeling Big Phil without you saying what developer's T-shirt you're wearing under your leather jacket.
Yeah, man, you gotta show us.
There's no development T-shirt underneath this. It's just my
Well,
Ultimate Frisbee jersey.
I seriously doubt that you're channeling Big Phil.
Are you trying to get my shirt off? Is that on the show? Is that what you're trying to do? I'm not Evan.
I've never done that on camera.
Not on stream.
On camera. You did swap. You have swapped tank tops a few times. Right. So it's just gone 4:20 in UK time. Who wants to switch teams?
Ooh, me.
Get me the hell out of here.
Yeah, can we just have like a regular conversation about this? Because I'm kind of curious what other people have to say. I know I was really down on the whole thing. In Discord.
I just really want to hear from Mikey, because I've Mitch. I know is quite well. From what you've said, which is not a lot because you've been busy working for PlayStation. Say what? You've been indifferent towards it, saying if people want to buy it. If it's a good deal for people who think it's a good deal, which is basic logic. Mikey, we've not heard from you on the subject.
Well, my observation of what it offers is it's kind of counterintuitive to the general PlayStation owner anyway, because kind of what Matt said on Sifted or whatever, he's like, how many of these games that are worth playing don't I already own or have had the opportunity to buy at steep discounts and other things like that? Like your middle and top tiers are maybe useful or maybe a good proposition for someone who, like, I have never, or it's been a couple generations since I've owned a PlayStation product. Maybe this is the most economical way for me to jump in. But if you're buying a PlayStation 5 after having not been in the PlayStation ecosystem for a significant amount of time, is money really an object to you? Like are you? It seems like it's kind of like we have a service to proposition. The fact that they are basically keeping the base tier with pretty much all the main practical features of PlayStation Plus at the same price means that they're expecting most people to just stick with their originally what they were going to do. And if they get a couple of more people to upgrade, hey, that's just gravy. Like, it doesn't seem like even PlayStation themselves really believe in this very, like, a bunch. It's more like, okay, we'll have a service. We'll have something that we can say, like, look, we have Game Pass at home. And then it'll be true. And if they need to rely on it or need to shift gears into a more service-based package later on, they already have the groundwork laid. Like, to be honest, I think it's almost a non-starter of a story. Like, to the most of the practical people, it's like the story is you can upgrade your PS Plus if you want it. Like, if you want to get some, since it's not changing the pricing of the base version, I think 90% of people either won't know or won't care that this is happening.
Right. So, Evan, are you quite happy with the position of your mic? Because you've been fiddling with it basically the entire show.
I know. I'm sorry.
It's what you do, Evan. It's what you do.
He's just discovered he's got a penis.
Oh my god. It's Evan. It's what you do when you get a stand like this. You just tend to mess with it all the time because you're like, oh, I just want to adjust the mic this way. Oh, it should be this way.
Yeah.
You'll see me on the show do it all the time. So don't worry about it. It's cool. That's what I do too.
This room is a giant mess. I'll figure it out in weeks to come. But yeah, I'm playing with my mic too much.
But Keith, I want to ask you a question because I did put some words in your mouth.
Yeah.
So
Well, I'll just say, just for the record, I have no insider information, nor can, if I did, I couldn't share it, but I don't know anything. I just know what everyone else knows. So, like, don't read into what I'm saying as anything.
Is this anything other than? Like Dave was getting on about? Did PlayStation even need to announce this? Because it seems like it's outside of their finance model, and it's outside of their strategy for how they feel about their first-party titles. Is it more a sense of people felt like they had to say something because Game Pass?
So,
well, I'm just.
I wasn't Mitch.
No,
Go for it.
Okay.
Well, like, okay, it seems like, I think the way that they announced it was the right way, which is no video, no big announcement. It's just literally a statement from PlayStation. Literally, that's what this is. And I think, yes, announcing it in some capacity is important because you do want to tell people what is happening to their service, because they do want to know, like, oh, do I need to change? Do I need to reevaluate my status? All that kind of stuff. So the fact it came out in it was just like a statement from the PlayStation blog, I think is the right way that they announced it. They said they're going to talk about more stuff in June, which I think is also will help answer people's questions. But just to initially say something, that is the right way to do it, in my opinion, especially for that it's not a drastic change in how people are going to. It's not like all of a sudden where Microsoft, and they had to walk this back, which was all of a sudden they took away the yearly Xbox Gold yearly model, and then all of a sudden people lost their minds because they're like, I don't want to subscribe to Game Pass because you're forcing me to now. Like, it's not like one of those. It's like nothing's changing. If you want to stay, if you just want to play internet and play online, nothing's changing for you. Now we have these other tier models if you want to do stuff, and I think Mike has a good point where, I think it's just in general with these subscription models with Xbox and PlayStation. It's, if you haven't been on one of the generations of consoles, it is good to subscribe to their service because they give you tons of back catalog stuff you probably didn't play before because you didn't have that console back then, which is really enticing for a player. Like someone like you, Keith, who didn't have an Xbox for a long time. Game Pass, I understand why it's such a great value. You are playing tons of Xbox games you never had the opportunity to play before. And so I think, yes, that is the initial customer that I think is always for. Now, being the leader in the industry, that also is a detriment because everyone has played your games. And so it's not as enticing as an offer for you. So it's not for you, and that's okay. I think what...
Mitch, I just want to pause you for a second. I know you'd appreciate it, so would you like to read the chat from Sheldon?
Oh, I can't. Sure. Where's my mouse? Here it is. All these handsome men in one place I can't handle. Well, thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Sheldon.
Thank you. Yeah, at least OTAPS isn't insulting and saying Evan has to hide his face. Yeah, shots fired.
I agree with you. This is basically a pitch to me. So I don't own a PS5 yet. I've said to all you guys, I will get one at some point. Will me signing up to a few months of this, if I'm able to, help rather than... So what I put in our Discord was, I'm going to have to see the price difference between paying for this service and how much secondhand games are for things like Mars Morales.
Returnal. Like for me, Returnal was a thing where like, if I was subscribing monthly, I would probably one-up that month to like play Returnal because I haven't played it yet.
I think you look at this, I don't think this is a play for new people at all. I think what it is if you look at both, the main...
Sorry, Dave. I want to ask you a very, very straightforward question. Why is Jim Ryan trying to make me drink a pint of his piss?
Well, that man do anything for money, so I can only assume there's some way he's gonna benefit off the back of it. But I mean, cheap shots aside, I don't think it is. I think if you look at the way those companies make money, Xbox and PlayStation, they make literally billions and billions of pounds every year just off the back of PS Plus and Xbox Live Gold, and the costs of PlayStation Now is already something they've factored in. Now, I know there's some talk that the library is going to be different, but I don't believe that. I think when the detail comes down to it, this library is going to look almost exactly the same as the PS Now library is. And I think what it is they've recut the maths and gone, you know what, we can add the benefit or the core benefit of all the PlayStation 4 stuff to PS Now. It's not going to increase our cost at all. And if we can get 5% of our existing PS Now customers to up to the middle tier, and then maybe even like 0.5% to up to the top tier, then we will get an extra $1 billion or something a year out of the services. And I think that's all this is simply. I mean, the truth is it's a good system. And I think when I buy my PlayStation 5, because I will buy one eventually, I may well be tempted to do this because by the time I get it, a lot of what I want to play may well be in that backlog. So it might well be economical. But
and also, sorry, you forgot the factor of like consolidating all this into PlayStation Plus. The people that have PlayStation Plus didn't even know PlayStation Now existed. Those people could subscribe up too, and that also gives you more revenue. So like you're making a good point, yeah.
Yeah, this is the thing as well, and as I understand it as well, it's the way that all the current subscriptions are as well. They've been grandfathered up a tier, so everybody who's got 2 years of PS Now is now getting the middle tier, not just Essential, and everybody that had Now is obviously going to get the top tier as a result. So they're being quite clever because if you've got like 3 years of that back catalogue available to you now because you prepaid for all of Now, at the end of it, are you going to be happy to drop back down again? The only thing about this, right, because I think on the whole, I think it's a bit dull, but it's not all that offensive. It's nothing particularly crazy. The only thing about it that I think is a bit iffy is the fact that they've rolled it all into PS Now, and you can't just subscribe to PS Now on its own. So this subscription thing is one on top because of what I was saying about earlier, because there is such a massive difference between the monthly cost and the yearly cost. There's no way to just dip in and dip out. You either pay
3 months. There is 3 month subscription.
But that's still quite expensive, isn't it?
I didn't look at the price. Sorry, I didn't look at the price. I don't know how much the difference was when you looked at a 3 month tiers.
But
it's a tiny thing. It's a tiny thing, to be honest with you. It's going to affect a minuscule number, but
someone's example of wanting to, having base PS Plus or like Essential, throughout as their normal thing that they pay for, but say I'm popping off to this place for I don't know, I want to get a month of a higher tier, is that option available for people to?
Well, we don't. That's the thing. That's
my guess is probably not.
Options, but
my guess would be probably not.
Sure
you probably have to go monthly if you're going to want to hop between tiers, but then you're paying more. You're paying more for the freedom to hop between tiers.
Yeah. So I mean, to be fair, I did do PS Now in year 2 of the PlayStation 4.
Yeah, I did the similar thing. I also tried it in 2020.
I mean, it was at the time it was kind of impressive, but it wasn't viable enough then. And I think PlayStation kind of screwed the pooch a little bit by coming out so early with that. Because I mean, effectively, what Xbox is doing now is what PlayStation was doing then. But it was too early. It didn't work right. And so
one thing I heard
it's been forgotten.
Yes, many things have been forgotten. Thank you for that, Matt. One thing that I heard was from Laura K. Dale on the latest episode of the Podquisition, where she said that streaming via xCloud on a PC away from her home delivers a better experience than streaming from her PS5 in the same room to another connected device.
Mm-hmm. So
the thing that I found whenever I tried to stream from my PS4 was the experience was god awful.
Mm-hmm.
So the thing that worries me about this model is how many of these games are going to be streaming only, because based on past experience, PlayStation don't do a very good job of delivering that.
In their defense, it's only PlayStation 3 that's streaming only,
Correct.
Isn't it? I think
the rest
everything
you
else
can download.
You can download.
Yep, PlayStation 1,
But
PlayStation 2, PlayStation 4.
So the thing about that is, and it's quite a clever thing, going back to what Mikey and Dave were saying. Eventually, we'll let Evan talk and not just sit and drink plum wine. It costs them nothing to do any of this
Out of his own head.
and so all it is a value add, because even Xbox back compatibility, the figures for the amount of people who play backwards compatible games is really small compared to the overall player base. So saying that you can have all this stuff is, oh, you've got access to all of this stuff, yes, but how much of it am I actually going to use? So going back to what I was...
Sorry, my guess is, like, talking about this backward compatibility, if I was Sony, my guess would be, like, I would try to put all the remasters that are on PS4 and just make them available so you can download them instead of trying to stream the PlayStation 3 version of the games. Now, obviously, there are some that are still lost in the PlayStation 3 ecosystem, but at least that's a vast majority of your first-party titles that people want to play.
I could be wrong about this, but I vaguely remember, because I use my PS Now free trial back when it first came out, and I remember going through the catalogue of it. And although, like they say, there's like 700 titles in there, or there was over 400 titles or something like that, there was quite a bit of repetition, because I'm sure, and somebody can correct me on this because it's been years since I checked, but I'm sure there was instances where, like, the remaster was on there as well as the original. But that's not necessarily a bad thing.
I haven't seen that when I did it in 2020. I didn't see the
I'm sure it was God of War 3, because there was, like, the PlayStation 3 version of it, and then there was also the PlayStation 4. But like I say, it was years ago. I could well have been wrong on that. But
I mean, it could have been at the time. I wouldn't doubt that.
Oh yeah, but I mean, the irony is that the company with a history that's probably not as worth as saving and as looking after is the one that's currently doing the most to make sure that their history is looked after and playable. The one thing that I want to see that we haven't seen yet, and I hope comes in June, is what the actual quality of all this back compatible stuff is, because I'm 50-50 here. Sony might knock it out of the park and actually do something really quite tangible and put some effort into it, but Sony could also just slap up a load of ISOs with, like, the worst basic emulator, and then all of a sudden you're just playing literally PlayStation 1 games that look like they did 20 years ago, as I say. So I'm kind of interested to see how that's going to play out.
I think the most frustrating thing for me, being somebody who jumped ship because the back compat wasn't there, is that in order to get the retro games, you have to get the highest tier. That's not its own separate thing. Like, I think they should have done like Nintendo does, where, it's like, it's $20 a year. Who gives a fuck? Like, it's not really noticeable in terms of like
asking another company to do what Nintendo does is asking me to copy that is not. There's no way Nintendo does their own thing. No one would copy.
So Sony could have with this whole fucking thing is just undercut Microsoft and said it's going to be $12.99 and it's one tier and that's it.
But again, they don't. Microsoft isn't making money though. That's the issue.
Well, we don't know that they do. They make billions.
I think they are. Yeah.
I don't think they're making a profit. They're not making a profit. Well, yet.
we don't know, but what they are making is a lot of money, regardless of whether or not they've.
But Sony doesn't have extra income like that.
If you account for all the acquisitions and the billions that they've spent out, Microsoft are thinking decades into the future. And the thing that pisses me off about this, sorry, actually, I'll get to me being pissed off about this in a moment. Evan, please regale us with your views of the PlayStation Plus /minus.
After the debate and us talking for a while longer.
That's fine. So, if we're going to the initial structure of the two teams trying to convince McWomble and I of which we should go for, Team PlayStation wins solely because neither of the Xbox people pitched that, Evan, you can't play Tunic on a Sony PlayStation system, which is the most Evan game ever.
Evan cannot collaborate this because Evan was gone half the time.
Oh,
did you guys talk about Tunic?
We might have. You never know.
Well, you have to watch the show back. I know you never do that, but you're going to have to just to find out.
Sorry, I broke out into a massive rash on my back. It's either the Thai curry that I ate or this umeshu that I'm drinking. But it was an issue for a bit. I apologize. That's the reason that I was gone for a bit. You can't see it on camera, but there's blotches of red all over my back.
Moving on.
Moving on.
Seriously,
TMI.
keep a food diary. Because
I should. I'm allergic to something. That's for sure.
If you've had a reaction to something, that will get worse. I'm here for all of you. I'm here to check on all of your well-being.
So
Thank
honestly,
This is
honestly,
true. He has messaged me saying I haven't heard from you in a while.
So Evan, honestly, if you wanted to right now, you could spend $1, download Edge onto your MacBook.
Not Linux.
Well, actually, so the cloud streaming, xCloud, works way better in Edge than it does in any other browser. I don't know why. I have Edge installed on my Linux right now.
It's called
and that's how I play cloud on my Linux box is through Edge. Tunic is streaming, so you could spend $1 right now. Connect up your PlayStation 4 controller; it will work with it, and play Tunic for $1.
Interesting. All right, I'll put that in my back pocket, even though I'm like basically computer illiterate because I'm an Apple user. I think
could
Dave
walk you
will
through it.
appreciate that.
What you can do is on Apple, on your Mac, download the Xbox app, and then just launch it straight from there.
Or that too, yeah, I guess. Anyway.
Well, we're talking about Game Pass, so it's tangentially linked. So,
Okay. So as Mitch was saying, getting back to the topic, I do think that PlayStation has made a huge mistake in making 3 tiers. It's too many tiers. And I know Netflix has 3 tiers. It's basic. Yeah, I can see Jim Ryan just being the most like a politician. Like he's just spouting the most BS, and you're like, I believe nothing that's coming out of your mouth.
You want to listen to any interview where he talks about games he's actually playing.
Dude,
that man is not a gamer.
Dave,
I played the one with the...
Every picture of this guy, he's either laughing maniacally, like he's a sociopath, or it's like he's holding the PlayStation controller the wrong way, like he doesn't have his hands on the back of the hand. Like this guy doesn't give a shit about video games, right?
He is absolutely one of those guys while playing driving games that does that when he goes around corners.
I think I had a dream where he pistol whipped me in an alley. I'm pretty sure that happened. And he laughed. Like the picture that you see of him with that fake ass smile, he did it while he fucking like broke my teeth. So the thing about the sorry.
I really
tell me how you really feel.
If you're gonna do tiers, like Netflix makes sense because what they're doing is you pay and you get everything that they're streaming, but it has to do with how many devices you can stream to, or if it's HD, right? So essentially 4K. That's really, really easy to communicate with consumer. Okay, like HD, I don't care. Oh, my wife's iPad and the TV and my son's and iPad and so on and so forth. The issue that I have with this, the PlayStation tiers is, to me, it seems like you can really like almost see the structure of it where there's like a giant, like, I don't know what they call them, like the war table, where they have like the shuffleboard things and they're like moving chips on the board. Like, okay, so the basic tier is basically what everyone has now, so no one's gonna get mad when we tell them that, okay, don't worry, like everything is the same, the price is the same, like you're good. Then we add 2 tiers and they're just like pushing games across this like war board. Like, well, no, how can we manipulate people into getting to the second tier? Let's push this stuff over to this side, and that's what's going to, okay, Metal Gear Solid, no, that's a good game, we're going to push it over here, that's going to get them to up their tier. And that's the issue, because like Netflix doesn't say, look, at the basic tier you get these movies, at the next tier you get these movies.
It's all of these Oscar-nominated movies you only get.
Right.
When
Well, I'm just saying, Evan.
Disney does do
Disney
right?
HBO Max also does it as well. There is a 2-tier system where you got the movies that came out when they were in theaters for the
Right.
paid
Well, no,
version.
That's a tier reward I understand though. Like
not
okay,
in the UK. So how Disney Plus works
really?
here is if you want
Star.
to for my Disney Plus subscription, which went up by £10 for no goddamn reason, you get everything. If something comes out in the cinema and they release it on Disney Plus, you've got to pay $15.99 to view it, and then from that point on, you get access to it as if it was part of your Disney Plus subscription.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what we got too.
So that I see as something different to what.
That's analogous to buying a game, isn't it? You've got this tier,
Yeah.
you get
No,
all of
but
this
I'm talking. But I
special
mean,
thing.
but I'm talking about HBO Max specifically more which is it had 2 tiers. Now they stopped doing it this year as of 2022, but all of 2021. If you paid the higher tier, you got the movies that came out in theaters came right to your HBO Max for free. So it was like
I
It was
understand
only
that tier.
certain movies, I think.
No, it's every single
I
film
understand that tier,
WB
Mitch,
released
but look at like
that year. That's all. I'm
Right.
just saying it's done before.
no, it's a fair point. The difference between the PlayStation tiers and something like you were talking about, Mitch, is they don't have a tier where God of War Ragnarok or Horizon Forbidden West or whatever is included in the price. That's the main issue,
Well,
right?
and that is because of the virtuous cycle bullshit. Sorry, I'm here's me on my soapbox now.
You got your megaphone and everything.
So all of the PR doublespeak, Jim Ryan talking out of both sides of his mouth at the same time. The thing that I found most objectionable about this, all the tiers and all that stuff. Okay, whatever. Who cares? If I view it as a good value proposition in the same way that I do Game Pass, I will buy it. Great. What I didn't appreciate was the PR doublespeak, which is we view the virtuous cycle with our customers about putting out high quality products and somehow putting them on this service will diminish their value. Now, we did a whole episode about does Game Pass devalue the products on its service. At the time, I was thinking it did, but actually, I don't. I think it really. I've totally flip flopped on that. It actually makes them more attractive because would I pay to play Weird West? Probably not. Would I have paid to play?
About to actually. Like,
would I have paid to play Streets of Rage 4? You bet your ass I would. So
Of course.
I think it works with indie titles, but when you're talking, I get you.
I don't know.
But I think also that's not exactly what he said though. He also said that it's the money that comes in, they wouldn't be financially to be able to support their studios as much and put or not financially, maybe they just said resources. I think he said resources was his word, but he couldn't put as much resources.
That could mean a very great many things. And
the thing is, all I'd say is you can literally.
Bloody hell do you think you are? Just because
you can boil this down really, really straightforward. It's really, really straightforward. What he's saying when you read between the lines is, we at Sony will make less money if we put our big title games in day one, and that's totally fine. That is a perfectly legitimate place to be, and I can almost understand that as a kind of position. What I find really weird is people kind of parroting that back like it's some sort of good thing for us gamers. It's like, well, I'm not a Sony shareholder. I appreciate somebody in the chat here might have a more vested interest in Sony as a company than the rest of us do. But the truth is I'm not. Yeah. But I'm not. I don't care. I don't give a crap about their deadline or their bottom line or what have you. I don't give a crap about Microsoft's bottom line. What's important to me is what's good value and what isn't good value. And it's a real shame to not see them step up and do something. And then for them to then do the weasel words thing like our customers customers appreciate the time and value and all that. It's like, don't you, as an incredibly rich man, tell me how happy I am that you're spending my money, because I am not happy about any of this year.
The thing that I found most objectionable about this is the proximity to the release and then introduction of microtransactions and the way they were implemented in Gran Turismo 7.
Well, so GT Sport was the same way.
So it's almost as if they looked at what happened with Activision and was it Crash Team Racing? So Crash Team Racing released, Activision started this, and it seems like PlayStation have copied it. And please don't copy it.
No,
it's objectionable behavior.
Hold on. Burkhoff just said it was in GT Sport, and GT Sport came out before Crash Team Racing came out.
It was the same scheme.
What, so introduce shitty microtransactions and pay to win bollocks?
Yeah, and always online too. Yeah, you had to be.
Well, the always online bit, get over it.
Well, I'm just saying, like that. This has already been established in the previous Gran Turismo. Yeah, so if you play the previous game,
and it's the only one that does it.
The always online bit where everyone kicked off was just get over yourselves. Come on, please calm down, children.
We're not back in the Don Matrick days.
Yeah. The saying where our customers value the $70 product is, well, don't release a shitty product and then to reviewers and then afterwards introduce the microtransactions which are really shitty, because that just makes you look like a money gouging, wallet gouging company.
It's the same company that pushed all their prices up £10 about
for no good reason
as well.
To support their studios. No, it's just to increase profits. Don't try and shovel that bullshit down my gob, because I'm not swallowing. And just plainly and simply describe what the product is, and I will decide for myself whether I think it's a good value proposition. And it could very well be a great value proposition, but don't try and spin it as something that it's not.
I hate marketing speak. The vocabulary they use in, like, PR letters and that type of thing it's like everyone can see through it. Like, just, could you speak like a human being? I know it's a self-perpetuating thing where they learn how to do PR and all these types of things, so they use the same vocabulary and blah 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 blah. It's like, I hate it so much, and everyone does. So like,
it's disgusting. Well, if you look at it, it's exactly what we thought it was, and he kind of confirmed it by doing the double speak, which is basically, this is here in case Game Pass goes through the roof and goes through the moon when all these studios come out with their games, whenever they come out, and if they build subscribers to the point where it's astronomical, and it is financially beneficial, then Sony can switch around and say, hey, this was our plan all along. That $17 a month, that's for the first party games now. Anything first party, and then going backwards, that's what it's for. Like he basically said that's what he's gonna do. Is like if it's in Xbox's court. Like if they can pull it off, then we'll switch and maneuver to that. But we don't want to if we don't have to, and we shouldn't. And in a sense, he's like, we shouldn't have to if we're the party leader. Like, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But then if Microsoft comes in and breaks our system, like, yeah, we got to fix it.
I think. I don't think it's hedging their bets,
Matt,
because
for once, just keep it down. Something that I sent to Mitch was around the Japanese mentality of business and the introduction of Lean Six Sigma, which Dave probably knows a bit about.
Yellow belt.
The Japanese. Your black belt?
No, just yellow.
Oh, sorry, I'm green. Screw you.
Black belt.
So in Japanese industry, they don't believe in the approach of if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Their approach is if you don't improve, someone else will. And I don't see this as a massive improvement from what Sony's previous offer was.
Well, if you put
it is an improvement.
If you put first party two things. One, Even Liam is stating that people don't understand Game Pass has yet to make a profit, so he even says that it's not making a profit. But anyway, the second point I was going to make is
the profit thing is the profit thing is a aside. Is going back to what Dave said. Is what I'm being offered a good value proposition? And at the moment, I view Game Pass as a great value proposition, but again, particularly the Xbox All Access. Will I, when I get a PS5 that I will have to pay full price for up front, and then have to pay for the full price tiered model in whatever tier that I choose to pay for it up front? Because I've thankfully got the ability that I can pay for it up front, and I won't have to pay for it monthly. To get screwed by having to pay for it more, which I think is a really shitty thing to do. It's almost as if they'd taken a leaf out of the energy company's books in the UK.
It's all that crap that happened Friday.
Yeah, I'm going to have to think really carefully about how much money I spend on PlayStation. I don't have to think carefully about how much money I spend on Xbox.
But here's the thing, and this is my question to you guys. Say they make the pivot, and they do put Sony's first-party lineup into the highest tier of their PlayStation Plus subscription. Does that value change for you?
Yes. Yeah. It starts to make sense. Yeah, it starts to make sense, and it's actually worth it. It's more money than Microsoft. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's literally what they're doing right now. In a sense, it sounds like no. Again, they're allowed to make the pivot if they need to. So then they can say, hey, we are going to put all first party lineup onto this price. And then all of a sudden
they've just screwed over everybody that spent the last 5 years spending $70 on their games.
Yeah,
that's what they've done.
But Dave, that's money that's already in the bank account. So screw those people.
Yeah.
Well, then what do you say to Xbox? Because Xbox is still selling $70 games.
Yeah, but
you can get it on Game Pass if you want, though. That's the thing.
It's your choice. It's your choice.
It's the choice.
Same thing. It's
your
the
availability of choice.
I mean, I'm probably not even going to buy a PS5. I'll probably just buy PlayStation games on Steam at this point.
I guess no offense, like no matter what, you're going to have to someone is going to get screwed over. Like people are getting screwed over right now by not putting it on the service, and people are getting screwed over by having to pay if you did put it on the service. Like no matter what, someone's getting screwed over. It does not matter.
Yeah, and
it does not matter.
It's going to be the early adopters. So all the people who've bought a PS5 and paid for all the games, and so do I need this tier? No. What's the point? So because and people like you, Mitch, who've got all your consoles and probably got within arm's reach 300 PlayStation 3 games. This is the thing that I'm confused about is this is meant to be pitched at people like me, and I can see the value in it. What I can't see is how it makes it more affordable than just buying everything bespokely.
And I think you answered your own question with when I said what kind of statement was the way they announced this the right way to announce it.
Oh, absolutely, it was.
If it was first party stuff coming to PlayStation, they should have blown it out like no tomorrow. But that's not what this is. And so I don't get what you want out of this. It's just trying to consolidate two systems together and give you more options for people that didn't know existed, and it's there for you if you want it.
What this reminds me of is earlier this week, my father was griping that some of the movies on Amazon Prime he has to pay for.
Oh yeah. If you're not going to the free section, yeah.
Well, no, he's like, not everything on Amazon Prime is free, or Prime Video is free, and I'm like, Dad, you do realize that Prime Video was added to Amazon Prime down the line. That originally people bought Amazon Prime for faster or free shipping or whatever. That was the original thing of Amazon Prime. All the video crap, that was basically added free to increase the value proposition, and you're complaining that it's not holistic, that the free thing that they gave you doesn't give you access to the entire like Blockbuster Video. He's like, yeah, I'm like,
Yeah, I
yes,
understand
like,
that.
yes, Amazon's a terrible company, blah blah blah. Like, but you're complaining that the free thing that they gave you didn't have X amount more on it or whatever. And I'm like,
You're absolutely right.
Otherwise you'd be renting or buying this video anyway. Like,
and I actually think the Amazon model works very well. I've rented and bought, well, pretty much the entire DC animated movies collection on Amazon Prime, because their animated stuff is great and Marvel's is dog shit.
This is true.
The thing for me is, I'm going to have to see. I've got no issue with the tier system. I've got an issue with the PR doublespeak that came out around it,
and I can respect that.
Particularly the GT7 microtransaction stuff. So don't tell me that you value your customers and they value a $70 product when you were going to pump out that game with microtransactions and pay to win bullshit. What I will say is, to wrap this up, well done to the Amazon employees who got granted the ability to unionize.
It's absolutely nothing to do with what we were talking about.
Amazon.
It's like, speaking of prime rib, I'd like to talk about donkey pastures. Have you ever thought about donkey pastures? I want to shout them out.
But I'll end it for me for this, which is basically, I think in the end, Game Pass originally didn't have first party lineup when they made Game Pass. They added that later.
Yeah.
So it is no different. The only difference is someone else is already doing it, but I think the big element is they don't have a first party lineup to really add to their catalog at the moment.
But what I would say is we aren't comparing apples and apples. PlayStation are the market leader in first party titles. Xbox were playing catch up, so they did what they needed to do in terms of delivering a service that they believed will at least get them parity, and they're not at parity in terms of first party titles, nowhere near. So I'm in no way some kind of Xbox shill. What I'm trying to get at is that Evan hasn't touched his microphone for the last 20 minutes since I said about it. So that's, I think, the main thing that we can take away from this entire discussion.
I don't know. I think it's 4D chess. I think it's walled gardens, ecosystems. It's not so much about...
I think Xbox are going to screw us over when the revised pricing of Game Pass gets announced.
Yeah, they're going to jack up. Oh, so actually, let's end it with two questions. One, are you going to subscribe to the new PlayStation service with the announcement of what is announced currently? Obviously, there's more announcements later of like what games probably are coming or something like that. I don't know. But then two, do you think Game Pass is going to jack up their price?
Second question first, yes. And first question, it will have to be whether like I said, the difference in price between the tier and what I get at that tier compared to what I want to play and the price of secondhand games.
Mm-hmm. Evan?
I wasn't paying attention. Please go to someone else first. I'll come back around.
Mike.
Yes.
We have two questions. Are you subscribing?
Doesn't help me. I need context.
Are you subscribing to the new service? And then two, do you think Microsoft's going to jack up their price?
Okay.
I don't think Microsoft will jack up their price, but I do think that they will increase their price.
Same thing.
No. Jacking up is like going from 10 to 15 versus.
Well, it
going
depends
from 10 to
how
11.
much you jack it. Like you can jack a little bit.
So I would say
Jack 'em?
jacking the price is something
Anyway.
that costs £100 a year, then costing 160 if you pay monthly. That's a jack.
I just think any price increase is a jack. But anyway, go ahead, Erebus.
Regardless, hold on. You didn't let me actually.
Oh, sorry.
answer.
Go ahead.
I personally will not be changing my. I'm just normal PlayStation Plus, and I'm going to keep it at normal PlayStation Plus for the time being. There's not an incentive for me to do so to jump it up because I have all the games I want. I'm backlogged on PlayStation as it is. There's nothing new I need to play, and I do occasionally subscribe to Game Pass month to month. I actually been like 3 months now because I keep intending to play Psychonauts 2, but life keeps getting in the way. So I've been giving Microsoft money for not doing anything with it.
It's okay. It's not that great.
But that's my problem. And so that's for me. I'm basically gonna stay the course.
Okay, Erebus.
Yeah, I mean, for me, this whole announcement, I hoped without any sort of expectation that the announcement would make gaming on PlayStation cheaper, and it hasn't. So for me, no, this isn't going to change my mind. I'm not going out to buy a PlayStation this year. I will pick one up post mid generation refresh and then play all of the exclusives that I've missed at that particular point and use the Xbox, or continue to use the Xbox as my daily driver.
Did you say that on purpose just to piss off Evan?
Oh, everyone. I know how much everybody loves that one. So no, this has not moved the dial for me at all. It's all been a bit underwhelming. As for whether Xbox are going to put the price up, the prices of everything goes up. So yeah, it will go up at some point. I don't think it's going to go up imminently. I think it'll probably stay static for a while, probably to the end of the generation. But yeah, it will go up because everything goes up.
Burkoff?
Sony still has an opportunity to win my business. They didn't do it with this. So no, I mean, I'm not going to be subscribing to it. Will Microsoft raise the price? When do the 2 years end for the All Access?
November.
November.
That's when they'll raise it, and thll probably raise it $1 or $2.
OTAMS had just said if PlayStation added Linux support, you'd be in.
So I almost bought back in the PS2 days. They had a package where it came with their own custom version of Red Hat and a hard drive and a network card and everything. I had the hard drive and network card that I got from beta testing Final Fantasy 11, and I almost got the Linux package. But yeah,
they stopped selling that, didn't they? Because like foreign countries where they couldn't export computers were exporting PlayStation 2s and then daisy chaining them together and putting Linux on them, using them to control missile systems and things like that. Because, like, I'm sure I'll link that in chat. But yeah, it was a good story.
Keith?
Whose dog's going?
That's mine.
That's Daisy.
No, it's Daisy. Yeah.
Oh, it's Daisy. Okay.
Daisy.
Not Daisy. That's a game that's not very good.
Keith?
No, I've answered the question. So,
okay. Then Evan.
Well, Evan ignored the question because he's tired and drinking plum wine.
No, I'm ready. I understand what we're
this.
talking about now. Can I talk?
Yeah, go ahead.
Is it okay?
Talk. Because I gotta go last. So.
Sure. Well, I think that 3 tiers is ridiculous. It should be 2 tiers. One is to keep people who have PlayStation Plus not safe, but to feel like they're not getting ripped off. Like, you get everything that you have now. Don't worry. But if you want to upgrade, you get all these games. I think walling off demos and streaming PlayStation 3 games, which is ridiculous, is stupid.
Well, hold on.
For a third tier.
People are really misconstruing that. When they mean walling off demos, this means test railing a game. Like, demos still exist for free. Like regular demos that games make.
Okay, fine.
Just saying.
So,
just wanted to make that clear because people have been misconstruing that, and that's been a little weird of them. I was like, Do your research.
And so I misunderstood as well. So thank you for pointing that out. But the fact that you have 3 tiers is one of those things that just garbles up exactly what is being offered.
So you're not subscribing?
Per tier.
Is that what you're saying?
Oh no! I have no. I'm not a dabbler. Like Burkhoff is a dabbler, and that's not a pejorative. But he likes to dabble in games.
Or a euphemism.
He'll play a little bit of this.
Yeah.
Dude,
And then is Xbox going to raise
we've been
the
friends
price?
for a long time. Everyone knows that Burkhoff is a dabbler, right?
It took me 9 months to finish one run in Hades.
Yeah,
I loaded it up, and I was at Hades. I was like, if I try it, and I beat it. And I was
dude,
like,
dabble away. Dabble to your heart's content. Like, but for me, I'm not gonna bounce around from game to game in that way, so I'm not interested in that stuff. So no, I don't appreciate this this very confusing 3-tiered system. It should be 2 what you have versus everything. Don't wall stuff off. You have to keep it simple. You have to keep it simple. Otherwise, free is better than how complicated PlayStation is making it. Even though it's not that complicated, but free is easier than that. With Xbox, yeah, they're gonna up the price, right? It's the boiled frog scenario. Netflix has done the same thing, but I don't know. I mean, Game Pass is way better deal than what PlayStation is offering. If I had an Xbox in my home and I could fucking play Tunic,
it's your tablet,
yeah,
or your phone, or your MacBook.
So
I know someone they explained. You guys explained to me how to wrestle my way through that one. I'll have to rewatch the episode, but I'm not going to do it. My PlayStation, my MacBook is so old. I don't know if I can.
Doesn't matter.
I'm computer illiterate.
yeah.
It literally doesn't matter. You could run it off a crappy Chromebook like Matt does.
The only thing that matters is your internet speed, effectively.
Oh, did someone say internet speed? Well, guess what? Mine is Speedy Gonzalez. I don't know. Speedy Gonzalez. I got.
I thought you were going to make. I thought you were going to make a size of your penis euphemism.
No.
No.
For me, I'm staying the course until I get a PS5 because if they're going to keep releasing some old catalog PS5 stuff like Returnal, as I'm waiting to get my PS5, I may be enticed to hop up to that subscription model to not pay for those games full price, or rent them as buy used, as kind of Keith mentioned. I think it's kind of same boat as you. Yes, I think Xbox probably will raise the price. Probably in 6 months from now, or at the end of the year is when they'll up the price. And
as soon as it hits November, and I would have had my Series X for 2 years on All Access, I'm expecting
a price hike.
I know, 10-15% increase.
And guess what? They'll say, "Oh, we're just gonna hike it up while you're still subscribed."
Yeah, and
instead of it's for those people that did All Access, they're just gonna they're saying we're gonna grandfather you in because you love Game Pass so much. We're not gonna end your subscription after the 2 years. We're just gonna keep it and raise you $10 in an email without really telling people, just like Netflix does all the time. But anyway,
and Disney.
And before we go, my final words: Bethesda is an amazing world-class studio that makes the best video games ever.
With the greatest bugs. Also,
they don't have
Picard,
bugs.
They do have bugs, and it just makes the games even better. Picard, freaking brilliant.
And
it's only going to be 3 seasons, right?
Yeah.
Are we out?
All right.
Is that it?
Well, music's playing.
Oh, all right.
Pretend I'm dancing to the music. That's terrible dancing.
It's like that house music. You just get in the